That's Ethan Cruz, A-list star. More famous than Leonardo DiCaprio in Titanic movie. Perfect, charming, and my sworn enemy. And me, Otis Park, young actor who just debuted. A small supporting role brought me here, but no one really cared until I slipped. Everything happened in slow motion. I was falling straight toward him, and then my lips touched his, in front of the whole world. To understand why this was a disaster, I need to tell you about our rivalry. 5 years ago, we auditioned for the same role, a career-changing role. I acted better, but Ethan got it, just because of his looks. The director said, "You did great, Otis. But Ethan has the kind of face the camera falls for." Ever since then, I've hated him. And Ethan? He said nothing, just stayed silent, and became wildly successful. That kiss? It went viral. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. Overnight, we became the most shipped couple online. And the company had a brilliant idea. Make us star in a boys' love series together. Cash in on the hype. I wanted to refuse, but this was my first lead role, the only chance to prove my talent. Ethan looked at me and smiled, a smile I couldn't read. And I knew this wouldn't be easy. First day of filming, we avoided each other like the plague. No talking, no eye contact, just working. The director said, "You need chemistry. The audience can tell when you're faking it. Try actually connecting." We looked at each other. No chemistry, just sparks. The angry kind of sparks. First scene, holding hands. Sounds simple? Wrong. Ethan's hand was warm, steady, and mine, shaking. I hated that. Ethan said, "Cut. Not enough emotion. Let's do it again." By the third take, I started suspecting he was doing it on purpose. By the fifth take, my face was red, not from emotion, from anger. Next scene. We stared deep into each other's eyes, 30 inches apart, 10 seconds long. I counted. I tried to focus on the script, but Ethan's eyes, too close, too blue. Ethan whispered, "Are you looking at me like that because you hate me? Or because you're about to kiss me, Otis?" I couldn't answer. My face was burning. The director yelled, "Cut! Perfect!" But nothing was perfect. And then came the scene I dreaded most. The kiss scene. The director said, "This is just acting. You're professional actors." But my hands still shook. We stood facing each other. No more script. No more staff, just us. Ethan touched my chin, gently, so different from his usual teasing, and when his lips were about to touch mine, my heart pounded like it would explode, not from hate, but from cut. Everyone applauded, but I couldn't look at Ethan, not after that. I touched my lips, still feeling his lips. And I hated that I didn't hate that feeling. I glanced at Ethan. He was also looking at me. Then he turned away. So fast I wondered if I imagined it. I needed to focus. This was just acting. Ethan was my rival. But why? Did I keep thinking about him? My phone buzzed. A text from Ethan. "Good job today. See you tomorrow." Simple, but why was my heart racing like this? The following days, something changed. We still argued, but less fiercely, like we were getting used to each other. One day, Ethan bought me Starbucks, exactly what I liked, iced Americano, no sugar. I never told him, but somehow he knew. And that made my heart do something weird. Not the angry sparks anymore, but a different kind of spark. But not all fans were happy with us. Especially a girl named Sarah. One obsessed fan. Sarah stalked my every update on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. She called herself my future wife, and she hated Ethan for kissing her idol. And one day, she got past security with a crazy plan. During lunch, Ethan stood alone, and Sarah approached. Sarah screamed, "Stay away from Otis!" and shoved Ethan hard. He fell, his head hitting the corner of the table. There was blood I ran over. My heart stopped. Ethan lay there bleeding. He tried to smile at me and said, "I'm fine." But his voice shook. He wasn't fine. Everything was chaos. Security dragged Sarah away. Ambulance was called, and I couldn't let go of Ethan's hand. Hospital. Night. Ethan got stitches. The doctor said he needed rest. But I couldn't leave. I looked at him. A white bandage wrapped around his head. Pale face. And I realized this was my fault. Sarah did this because of me. I held his hand, like in our scenes. But this time, no script, no cameras. Just me, scared of losing him. Ethan opened his eyes, looked at me, and whispered, "You're still here?" I nodded, couldn't speak, afraid my voice would break. Ethan said, "Thanks for staying, Otis." And for the first time, he said my name not to tease, but because he meant it. Next morning I brought Starbucks, 2 iced Americanos, like he did for me. Ethan smiled. A real smile. Not the red carpet smile or on-camera smile, but a smile just for me. A week later, Ethan returned to the set. Though the doctor said rest more, he said, "I can't keep the crew waiting." That's when I saw Ethan wasn't just a pretty face. He was hardworking. He cared about everyone. He was nothing like what I thought. And my heart no longer sparked with anger. It raced for a different reason, a reason I didn't dare admit, until now. When we resumed filming, everything was different. No more tension, no more push and pull, just us. Ethan looked at me, and this time, I didn't know if he was acting anymore, because those eyes felt too real, and so did my feelings. I stopped pretending. I looked at him like he was my boyfriend. The director yelled, "Cut!" But we didn't let go. Not immediately, because we didn't want to. That evening we sat on a rooftop. No cameras, no script, just Starbucks and unspoken words. Ethan said, "Otis, our scenes together. Have you ever felt the line between acting and reality blurs?" I blushed and looked at my coffee, then at him. I nodded. Yes, I felt it. Ethan held my hand, not like in our scenes, but like he didn't want to let go, and neither did I. We didn't need to say anything more. Foreheads touching, hearts beating in sync. This time, not because of acting, but because of real feelings. 2 months later, the series aired, trending at #1 on Netflix, a billboard in Times Square. TikTok exploded with fan edits. We made it. Off camera. No red carpets, just us walking in Central Park, hand in hand, like a normal couple. Ethan stopped and looked at me and said, "You know, from the first time we met, I knew you'd change my life. I just didn't think in this way. My enemy, my rival, now, the person I love. Who would have thought? Sometimes love starts with a fall and an accidental kiss on the red carpet. They say Hollywood has no fairy tales, but sometimes it does. It just doesn't start with happily ever after. It starts with an accidental fall and sparks with the right person."